Mental and emotional well-being are essential for living a healthy and fulfilling life. By prioritizing our mental and emotional health, we invest in our overall wellness. Anne MAKENA, a mental wellness advocate, understands this very well, and here is her story.
I'm the Human Resource and Partnerships Manager at the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance. I'm also a founder of LEADHERS Africa. It's an emotional wellness community where we just teach and speak to the community on having their mental wellness at the top. I grew up with my two parents believing that in everything that you do, you need to make an impact in the society. Beyond earning, beyond getting titles, beyond being whatever you are, always remember to give back to the society and to the community in a beautiful way to leave them better than you found them.
Packaged with a variety of skills, Anne has achieved quite a lot.
There was a lot of interaction with the community people. However, our parents were very intentional on how they groomed us to fit into the society. And one of the fond memories I have, it's for my mother. Every morning when we wake up, we used to find a lot of people waiting for her, for either to be given a bit of food, others wanted to be given a bit of work so that they earn something. And for me, I couldn't relate why she was always opening our home for each and everybody. I felt as if it was a point of intrusion, because visitors means a bit of work, a bit of more tea, a bit of giving. But now looking back today, it has shaped me to be who I am. I always believe in opening my doors to people, of course, with creating boundaries to help and also interact with them and understand what goes on in the society beyond my space. Getting a call from somebody and being told that the conversation we had the other day helped me in 1, 2, 3 is a big milestone. Also, having an organization that is marrying the same and incorporating it with the workforce is another great milestone. Having a whole thematic area and relating to our core mandate, climate change, and seeing how climate is impacting mental wellness of the victims, it's also another great milestone. And above all, having a whole module that is going to be discussed in an initiative that has brought together global young minds. Who wouldn't celebrate that?
With partnerships and a high level of expertise that Anne has, success is a guarantee.
I have volunteers, individuals who are more of my partners. Above all, I have my employer, Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, that has really worked with me. But the future that we see is to create more partnerships, more collaborations, so with organizations that are doing this so that we advance the conversations. I'm more thankful to the experts that we have been working with who come in, the like of Offense, the others who have not come in here, to make the conversation easier. There are also people in the media who have just been approaching me and saying, you know what, we can take your conversation ahead. There are also people who are giving me insights on how to do it better, and also people who are sharing a lot of knowledge and information. I would call that also partners, but we're looking more at building it and bringing more partners who are gonna advance the conversation to greater heights beyond our spaces here in Kenya.
MAKENA is a very interesting lady, quite driven. I love the perspectives that she pushes around mental wellness. I love the passion that she has for the people she serves. She's brought this initiative in terms of mental wellness for staff. Maybe you haven't noticed, but we went through a very hard period last year where we lost a colleague. It was hard for colleagues to heal, but she supported us in bringing mental wellness coaches who supported us through the healing process of when we were grieving around the loss of our colleague. But beyond that, just the wider scope of enhancing our wellness to advance individually and also prepare us to really be well equipped to serve our communities. They deal with a lot, from loss and damage to issues of adaptation, mitigation, the climate crisis as a multiplier. But beyond that, the many facets of things they deal with, from the geopolitical challenges that they experience, the social and economic fronts, and even the daily lives. And so this puts together from a holistic perspective so that you have a 360 view of what wellness looks like from an individual perspective, in your role professionally, and also as you go there in the communities that you serve, and also widely within your family and the communities that you engage with.
I am somebody who helps people to get unstuck in their lives, to get their lives together, this is how I call it, and also to just begin to live the lives of their dreams. I'm also finishing off my master's at USIU, and that is really, really helping me to connect mental health and also progress in life and feeling unstuck and all of that together. So the work that I'm doing with Anne at the moment is related to helping people in the workplace to really reconcile some of their thoughts and their feelings, and also just the mental health and the mental wellness aspect together. So I've worked with her on a couple of calls, like online calls, in order to help education in that space, particularly on imposter syndrome, which is something that I've experienced and overcome, and that I also help my clients to overcome. I think this is powerful work that MAKENA is doing, because a lot of people don't want to talk about mental health in the first place, and when they do, it's very guarded. And I think it's that emotional safety thing again. I think what she's doing is really powerful, because it's creating a sense of emotional safety for people to have safe spaces to discuss what's actually happening in their lives, to discuss and normalize issues that we're all facing. I think the biggest mistake that we make as human beings is thinking that we're isolated, we're alone, we're the only ones that are going through this. But the work that MAKENA is doing is really showing us that nobody is alone. Everybody is going through this, and these are the tools that you can use in order to be able to find your healing in this space.
The whole conversation of climate and health is a conversation that we've been working in the last 3 years to catapult it to the global and regional level conversations, because initially, when it came to the COP, the Conference of Parties conversations, health was basically left behind. So we started by ensuring that we had a regional initiative for climate and health, through which we're building a community of practice where we can sustain and enhance the knowledge and the engagements around climate change and health. 2, we were able to have drive the first ever African common position on climate and health, which we were able to do in Malawi. And that African common position was able to actually build into the global declaration on climate and health last year in Dubai during the COP28 conversations. And therefore, we basically engaged in raising the political profile of climate and health conversations globally, but also within the continent, and also within the countries within which we work in. We work to complement and support and supplement the work that the ministries of health, for example, are doing, the ministries of environment are doing, to ensure that we have robust policies, we have policy equity in the health sector, in the environment sector, to ensure that we're mainstreaming all these components that are driving the issue of climate and health in Africa region. MAKENA is very passionate about mental wellness. And I give her credit to this, because she is our human resource and partnerships manager. And therefore, the well-being of us as staff members is very important. Part of the whole issue of ensuring that we have maximum productivity in an organization, part of seeing that we are more efficient, that we have an enabling environment, is to ensure that we have proper wellness, sessions that can enhance our productivity, that can ensure that we're able to actually perform very well. So she's very passionate about that, and we really appreciate her for that. And we think that in so doing, not just for staff, that she's trailblazing solutions for the workplace challenges that we actually have in so many other ways. But she also brings in a new angle of where we are looking at the core benefits of addressing, mental health secondary to climate change. The issues of having green spaces, the issues of, ensuring that we actually address or mitigate aspects of climate change that will make the working of staff more challenging. So she champions that. So I would really say that she's a trailblazer. She really does a lot of great work that we think will go a long way to not only support us, but also be a solution that other organizations can also learn from through the piece of work that she actually does.
MAKENA is my mentor. that's one. We met at a summer school in the second cohort, which was happening in Kenyatta University. So when she was talking to people, I was admiring how she's doing things, and well, I got interested to talk to her, and I approached her, and she was so welcoming. So this one time, she organizes an event on Twitter. She was speaking about mental health, and on my personal journey, I've been really a lot. Depression, stress, name them, there's so many. But when I approached her and told her my story, she kind of took it so deep. It's as if it's her own daughter, you know. So I confided with her, and she was able to help me in one way or another, which I was able to come out of that pit I was in of depression. And I started now accepting who I am, and accepted like that I needed to confront my problems, because I am the driver of my life, and nobody can ever make a decision for me. I am that person who can do everything because I have the power. She brought out the real me, and I was really happy. So from there, she became my mentor, and we have been working together up to date.
Currently, MAKENA holds a human resource professional position at the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, where she executes a variety of duties, among them addressing climate justice issues across Africa.
I've interacted with these kind of things that happen in people's life. And so I took a moment and paused and just thought for myself, one, life doesn't pause to wait for the situation that you're in. So probably I need to work on my mental wellness, work on me, so that I'm able to walk around with my family and other people around me, and also to be uptight at my workplace. Then I also paused at my workplace and asked myself, if I am going through this as a human resource personnel, how many other individuals do I deal with daily that are going through, a sinking world or a crazy world? There could be many. Then, of course, this sparked a conversation internally, and we started kind of a mental wellness program that was welcomed very well in the organization with support. It has also moved to a point where now it has gone beyond the wall of the secretariat to our national platforms, because PACJA is a continental organization. It has also gone to our programs. We have an health thematic area that of course deals with climate and health, but inside there we have a perspective of the impacts of climate change on mental wellness. Above that, we have an initiative that is called the Nairobi Summer School, where we bring young students from around the globe to just equip them on matters climate justice and how they're gonna shape the conversation outside. So in that, we have created a module on mental wellness that we are going to deliver in this cohort 4 that will be in Chuka, and for me that is a great milestone. And then I also took the conversation now outside. I started having the conversation with external people, where we do webinars, we do physical meetings, we do the X spaces, and also write a lot of articles, and the reception has been amazing.
While pursuing her passion for positively impacting the society, Anne is motivated to empower women to take care of their mental health.
I'm a very resilient person, and I would call myself a queen of positivity. It will take a lot for you to weigh me down or to erode my vision. It will take a lot. So I think that willpower, that resilience makes me to go another day, and even to have more power and energy to run the community Leaders Africa. When you start having candid conversations and people have gone into my inbox, others called me, "Are you okay?" The first perception is she's a victim. That is why she's having the conversation, all right? Or she's out probably looking at something to grow a career. But to be honest, this is something, it's a conversation that is very close to my heart, because it's a lived experience, and it's something that I thought I will do to help myself as I help others. Sometimes the best way to heal is to walk with people who are having the same challenges with you, so that your journey becomes easier. And if you don't want to be selfish enough, your healing becomes faster when you share the shared struggles, make the journey more beautiful, easier, and faster.
Although challenges are sure to arise along the way, they can always be resolved.
One of the challenges, of course, is time and resources. I am doing this at the sidelines of what I do. I am employed. I'm a Human Resource and Partnership Manager at the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance. That means I have to create time besides the hours I have to attend to my community. Then secondly, also being a mom, I have young children who need me, a spouse who need me, so I have also to take a bit of their time to give this other side and beyond the expectations in the society. The moment you bring yourself out to have very difficult conversations, people think that you're gonna have a spark of magic to change their life in everything about mental wellness. So there are a lot of requests sometimes that weigh us down, but we are not going to tire. We will just keep on moving the wheel. Outreach is not easy, and also selling the conversation, it's not easy. There are days you do a webinar and you just log in, 1 person, 2 persons, 3 persons. You're waiting to have a proper crowd to carry on the conversation, and you tend to think, why are people not responding to this? But of course, with time, we have got a community that is really running with us, and also the aspect of a lot of requests and the perspective of people thinking that you're gonna solve their problems weighs me down sometimes. But with time, I've learned to deal with that. In the future, we are looking at having a solid community that has solid volunteers, solid partnerships, solid organizations that we are working on to have great conversations that are even focusing on matters of policy on mental wellness. We're also looking at taking the conversation down at the community level, because when you look at the facilities or the service itself of mental wellness, it's a very costly affair, and mostly it's associated with the affluent. I mean, the people who can afford are the ones who can have it. So how can we also take care of the people who are at the grassroots levels, all those people who are vulnerable, to access the same resources and also build their mental wellness and grow it to a resilient point where they're able to carry on their daily things and also enjoy life as it is supposed to be.
We owe it to ourselves to make mental and emotional wellness a top priority.
We all have a right to be mentally well. We have our right to relax. And this is something also people need to know, employers need to know at workplaces. When you emotionally drain people and take them through fatigue, you're taking their rights away, their rights of being mentally well.
Thank you, MAKENA, for always understanding people, because it's not everybody who will understand you. And thank you for carrying people's burdens. Yeah, so thank you so much. And I pray that you continue doing whatever you're doing, because it's a noble thing.
Keep going, expand the base of the people you touch. We have designated national platforms across 51 African countries, so the range of your work is cut out. Let's have impact in Kenya. Let's bring in more minds of people with different abilities, special needs people, for example, children, the elderly. Let's have a conversation that cuts across generations. I think for me, expanding this really stigmatized topic that nobody really wants to talk about, just with that boldness, continue with the fire that you have in your heart, continue being bold, continue impacting lives, but expand this conversation so that we build a community of mentally fit communities, individuals, and societies.
For people to have safe spaces to discuss what's actually happening in their lives, to discuss and normalize issues that we're all facing. I think the biggest mistake that we make as human beings is thinking that we're isolated, we're alone, we're the only ones that are going through this. But the work that MAKENA is doing is really showing us that nobody is alone. Everybody is going through this, and these are the tools that you can use in order to be able to find your healing in this space.
If you have a vision, you don't need to make it die. You don't need the entire world to make a change. Just have a plan, take it out there, and then run with it. Secondly, life is what it is. We cannot control what happens in life, and that being so, it's important that we take care of our mental wellness, because, as we said earlier, we live in our minds. So our minds are an asset that we need to take care of. When it's well, we are also well.